Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to those of you at home in Rhode Island. Welcome to those of you gathered halfway across the globe. Welcome to one and all to the First Unitarian Church of Providence. This morning, we're celebrating our rich partnership and deep friendship with the Unitarian Church of Sant'Egiazza in Transylvania. Indeed, it was the Unitarians in that part of the world that gave us the phrase, "We need not think alike to love alike," and indeed, we do love alike, and we love beyond belief. It is my pleasure to share this day with all of you, my friends. I send greetings from everyone here, our tech team, our worship associates, our musicians. Greetings, welcome. It is good to be together. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Az új esztendő testvérgyülekezeti vasárnapját ünnepeljük. Szeretettel köszöntjük híveinket itt Szentegyházán és az óceánon túl, Providence-ben. Minél több időt tölthetünk együtt, akár a virtuális valóságban, akár személyesen, értékes az, hiszen arról a szeretetről szól, amely összekötötte ezt a két gyülekezetet. Az idő, amely az együttlétünket szolgálja, Istentől való. Welcome. We are celebrating our sister congregation Sunday of the New Year. We warmly greet our believers here at Szentegyháza and across the ocean in Providence. The time we spend together, whether in virtual reality or in person, is precious because it is about the love that unites these two congregations, the time that serves our togetherness is from God. Meggyújtom ezt a gyertyát, hogy fénye bevilágítson szíveinkbe, és életre keltse a végtelen szeretet érzését. Fénye híd legyen közöttünk a barátságra, békességre, az egymásra figyelésre. I light this candle so that its light can illuminate our hearts and bring to life a feeling of infinite love. Let its light be a bridge between us for friendship, peace, attention to each other.
This morning we're taking the flame presented by the Sant'Egiazza Church to our chalice. Betty will do that for us. This candlestick was a gift from our Transylvania partners. We light this chalice for all the times you lit the chalice, for every time you struck the match. We light this chalice for your still being here, out of calling, out of commitment, out of love. We light this chalice for the time we have spent we light this chalice for you.
Good morning. My name is Betty Finn, and I'll be your worship associate today. Today's reading is from the Bible. For everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to seek, a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Mendenek redelt idejavan, és idejavan az eg alat minden akaratnak. Idejavan a keresésnek, és ideja a véctésnek, ideja a megőrzésnek, és ideja az eldobásnak. Ideja van a szagatásnak, és ideja a megvárásnak. Ideja a hallgatásnak, és ideja a szólásnak. Ideja a szeretésnek, és ideja a gyűlölésnek. Ideja a hárakozásnak, és ideja a békességnek.
One of the ways First You transforms love into action is by the sharing of the joys and sorrows that connect us. This morning, several of you have offered a candle of hope and relief for the people of Tonga after the natural disaster wrought on them, first by volcano and then by tsunami. To prepare for prayer and meditation, I want to invite you to relax, to bring yourself into the moment. Let yourself feel your body where it is, letting go of any tension you may be holding. Please take a deep breath with me. And again. And one more. Spirit of life and love, gather us through time and space and make our hearts whole. From our separateness, make us one. From our individuality, give us a communal beauty. Move in our hearts to make us friends, and help us use our lives as a blessing to others. Amen. I begin with Gandhi's words. I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I hear your needs. I feel your feelings. Let us work together. I think Gandhi's words aptly sum up what a relationship is or can be, what a friendship is or can be, what a partnership is or can be. Not to mention his words' prescriptive insights into hospitality, the Latin of that word meaning to host. So I offer these words this morning as something of a love letter, as a gift to our partners, our friends in Szentegyháza, but also as a reminder to us, as an admonition to do all we can to live into this relationship, to be good hosts to our neighbors near and far. The last time I preached here, I told you that the secret to all life, or at least happiness, is summed up in this phrase: to have a friend, you must be a friend. Those words could not be more simple or more true, pointing as they do toward the great natural law that says to possess anything, you must first give away that very thing. I want you to think about that deeply. Want to be wealthy? Give to others. Want to be happy? Bring joy to others. Want peace? Be peace. Want love? Love one another. Sometimes I think the people in Transylvania get that in a much better way than we do because they live closer to the struggle than we do. They know what it is to do without, to doubt, to be persecuted, and they know what it is to rise. Today, they are celebrating over 450 years of religious tolerance and freedom. But that remains a freedom hard won, and one that is and was quite costly. Our own Reverend James Ford reminded us of this when he told us one of the great personalities who would birth the first church in the world to name itself Unitarian was John Sigismund, who ruled the Eastern Hungarian kingdom in what we now call Transylvania. However many tributaries that flowed into the king's heart, two things came out of that deep place. In 1568, the king promulgated an Edict of Tolerance, the first proclamation of religious freedom in all of Europe. It was an enormously significant act. In the rest of Europe at this time, blood was flowing freely everywhere over religious disputes, Catholics killing Protestants and Protestants killing Catholics, as well as other Protestants, and everybody was killing Muslims and Jews. But in Transylvania, something else was happening, something different. King Sigismund embraced the new Unitarian faith preached by Francis David, who once said, though incorrectly attributed to him, the words, "We need not think alike to love alike." Words that still guide us in our understanding of Unitarianism today. With the king's patronage, Francis David, for the third time in his life, was elected a bishop, this time for the new Unitarian Church. And for a handful of years, something wonderful flourished in Transylvania. But then in 1571, under cloudy circumstances, the king died. His successor was a Catholic, and almost immediately the persecutions began. Eastern Unitarianism never quite recaptured those glory days, but their spirits remain mighty. As such, American Unitarians came to realize the Eastern Unitarians had a lot to teach us about our roots and about our own religious evolution. So we've spent something over 25 years now with the UUA program of forming partnerships and making friends by being friends. This gift of time has benefited all of us in equal measure. While we may have helped some in Transylvania with financial assistance, we've received the very rich religious and cultural heritage and history that was all but lost to us just a quarter century before. My own mentor and teacher, John Gibbons, often speaks of his church's first trip to Transylvania back in 1994. The Bedford congregation was one of the first to sign up for our denomination's new partner church project. They promptly found themselves teamed up with a congregation in a tiny village on the outskirts of Transylvania. They looked on a map and decided to send a delegation, including John and myself, to see what all the fuss was about and what we'd gotten ourselves into. Arrangements were made, transportation was put together, and we took off. Days later, as the two Volkswagen buses carrying us made their way up a steep village dirt road, perhaps a mile or so from the village, we were stopped by a band of young men on horseback and young women in horse-drawn carts, all dressed in traditional garb for this momentous occasion. One of the young people then read from a proclamation in which the villagers declared this visit was as important to them as when the Magi made their way to Bethlehem. All of a sudden, John said, "I feel woefully underdressed." In his telling of this adventure and all that has followed, John describes something happening that was life-affirming, that was life-giving and transforming, offering both parties a picture of a different kind of Unitarianism than the one we thought we knew, and an invitation to take our own liberal faith more seriously and possibly even in new and deeper directions. And so, since we have. Gifts were brought and exchanged, just like the Magi visiting the Holy Family. Of course, who is the giver and who is the receiver remains a matter of perspective. From one vantage, a rich and intellectually inclined religious community stumbles upon a persecuted church that survives with dignity, even if in poverty, in the face of continued opposition, sustained by a heartful faith. From another view, we have two cousin traditions, each holding something that of what the other sees as a simple reformation of the heart, focusing on a God that is an overwhelming love, while also discovering the power of intellectual honesty in all religion. Either way, from either viewpoint, we began to see things more clearly, and we continue to do so. There are stars, there are visitors, and there is something holy and precious being discovered then and now. And so again, dear friends in Santa Jaza, I raise a glass of Palinka to you and toast that we work together, hearing each other's needs, feeling each other's feelings, and offering each other peace and friendship. and love. May it be so. Amen.
A 25-ös számú egyházi énekünket, 25-ös számú egyházi énekünk így kezdődik: Ó, jelenj meg, szállj közénk, értelemnek atyam.
Ó, jöjj meg, szállj közénk, értelemnek atyam. Hím felé száll szíveink, égő áldott atyam. Nyújts ki bennünk, nyújts ki nálunk, hallgassunk szent ég irántott fényét.
Mindennek rendelt ideje van, minden akaratnak, mondja a Biblia az Ószövetség tanításában. És valóban, rendelt ideje van az akaratnak, hiszen akarni kell azt, hogy életünk jó és egyre jobb legyen. Hogy miért mondom mindezt? Nos, gondold csak el, hogy életünket mennyire a véletlen és mennyire az akarat dönti el. Január 13-a a vallás, lélek és lelkiismereti szabadság napja. 1568-ban született egy döntés, amely az akarat és a döntés szabadságát a te kezedbe helyezte el. Nem csak arról van szó, hogy vallásodat szabadon gyakorolhatod, hanem arról is, hogy hited mennyire van biztos alapokon. Szabadságot kaptál arra, hogy időt adj a születésnek, a szeretetnek, a békességnek és a találkozásnak, az együtt megélt pillanatok örömének. Nos igen, arra is szabadságot kaptál, hogy időt adj a reménytelen és élettelen jövőnek, ahol nincs születés. Szabadságot kaptál arra, hogy ne a közösség szeretetét, hanem az egyén boldogulását, az emberektől való eltávolodást éld meg. Szabadságot kaptál arra, hogyha akarod, ne a lélek határozza meg az életedet, hanem az anyagi és politikai hatalom, amely mára már hatalmas erőkkel éli a jelent. Igen, szabadságot kaptál, hogy időt tölts ezekre. Te döntöd el, hogy ez az idő valóban értékes-e számodra úgy, ahogy arra fordítod. Az angol közmondás szerint az idő pénz. Én azt mondom, az idő ajándék. Ajándék az Istentől, hogy a születéstől a halál pillanatáig a szabad akarat döntéseinek megfelelően értéket vagy értéktelen szemetet gyűjtünk-e. Ajándék, amellyel a te felelősséged, hogy miként bánsz. Ma már tudjuk, és 1568 óta törvénybe is ültette az ember, hogy ez az ajándék Istentől jön az emberhez. Persze a mindennapi élet sok pénzbe kerül. Számomra azonban nem ez az érték. Érték volt az első válaszlevél a testvérgyülekezettől, amelyben meleg hangon szólítottak meg, és nyílt életet éreztem meg. Érték volt az ölelés, amikor az ide látogató testvéreink nem a kételkedés hangján, de a meggyőződés érzésével tárták szét karjukat. Érték volt a kimondott szó, amely elhangzott itt Szentegyházán a testvérek biztatásából. Érték volt a baráti meghívás és a sok-sok találkozás, amelyben részesültünk akkor, amikor sikerült oda látogatni. Érték volt a kopjafa, melyet a megemlékezés parkjába ültettünk el Providence-ben, amely örök érvényűvé tette az összetartozásunkat. Érték volt, és a mai napig érték az a sok-sok pillanat, amikor minden hónapban találkozunk ismerőssel és ismeretlenekkel, együtt lehetünk a virtuális valóságban, tudunk egymásról. Még akkor is, ha sok esetben másként gondolkodunk. Az nem baj. A baj akkor van, amikor időt adunk arra, hogy széttépjünk kapcsolatokat, megmérgezzünk érzéseket. Én hálát kell adjak a Jóistennek, hogy megtaláltuk az időt egymásra. Adtunk időt nem csak az ismerkedésre, hanem a tehén megfejésére, languszta evésére, értekezletek közös megtartására, és a türelemre egymás otthonának meglátogatása alkalmával, hogy nekünk nem jó az angol nyelvismeretünk. Mégis vannak kapcsolataink egymásban és egymásért. Kívánom, hogy ez az ajándéka Istennek mindenkit megszólítson, és mindannyiunkat értékessé tegyen. Az idő valóban érték. Neked, nekem, mindannyiunknak, ha ez minket összeköt, és reményt ad. Isten áldja meg! To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Yes, everything has an allotted time. There is an allotted time for free will, says the Bible, in the teaching of the Old Testament. And that is true. Since you need willingness to make your life better and better. Why am I saying this? Well, think about how much our lives are governed by chance and will. The 13th of January is the day of freedom for religion, soul, and conscience. A decision was made in 1568 that placed the freedom of will and the decision to use it in your hands. It's not just about being able to practice your religion freely. It's also about how solid the foundation of your faith is. You have been given freedom to give time for birth, for love, for peace, to meet and enjoy the happiness of the time spent together. You have also been given the freedom to choose a hopeless and lifeless future where there is no birth. You have been given the freedom to experience not the love of the community, but individual prosperity and the distancing from others. You have been given the freedom to choose between whether your soul determines your life or whether the material and political power, now a great force in our present time, determines it. Yes, you have been given the freedom to decide if this time is valuable to you and the way you spend it. According to the English proverb, time is money. But I say time is a gift. It is a gift from God. From birth to the moment of death, to collect either something of value or worthless rubbish according to the decisions of free will. It is a gift and responsibility. We now know, and since 1568, man has made it a law that man has received this gift from God. Of course, everyday life costs a lot of money. To me, however, that is not the value. What is valuable was the first letter we received from our sister congregation, in which I was addressed in a warm voice and with an open heart. Valuable was the hug given by our visiting brothers and sisters, who spread their arms around us, not in doubt, but with a sense of conviction. What is of value was the spoken word that was said here at Szentegyháza with the encouragement of our brothers and sisters. What is of value was the friendly invitation and the many encounters that we received when we were able to visit you. What is valuable was the wooden kopyafa that we have planted in your memorial garden in Providence, which made our togetherness eternal. What is valuable is the time when we can meet acquaintances and strangers, when we can be together in the virtual world and learn about each other, even if in many cases we think differently. That's not a problem. The problem is when we give time to tear up relationships, to poison our feelings. I have to give thanks to the good God that we have found the time for each other. We make time not only to get to know each other, but to milk the cow, eat the crayfish, to hold meetings together, and to visit each other's homes, even if we don't have a good knowledge of English. Yet we have connections to each other and for each other. I wish that this gift of time from God allows us to include everyone and make us all valuable. Time is truly valuable to you, to me, to all of us, if it unites us and gives us hope. God bless you.
Jóságom számos végén, és tekints meg kegyesen a bűnösnek hozzá térni.
My friends, one of the tests of any friendship comes in our being there for one another. It comes in our being generous with one another, be this with our time, with our help, and sometimes with our dollars. That is why we are taking up a special collection today on Partner Church Sunday to help our friends in Transylvania with the very real needs they are facing every day, especially in the wake of all that COVID costs. Listen with me, if you will, to the thoughts of their minister.
Megható a gondolat és az érzés, hogy vannak emberek, akik segítenek. Bennünket egy világ választ el. Amíg Amerika a fejlődés meredek szakaszát élhette meg, addig Erdély a Közép-Kelet-Európa kommunista uralmát, és utána politikai és hatalmi harcait élte meg. Emiatt sokan vannak, akik a járványhelyzet következtében nagyon leszegényedtek. Ma, amikor az energiaárak a csillagokig emelkedtek, mi is segíteni szeretnénk híveinken, akik valóban rászorulnak. Közösségen, amely holnapot remél és megél. Hálásan köszönöm meg a felajánlásokat, Isten a lélek gazdagságával áldja meg ezerszeresen, és adja vissza mindenkinek a segítséget. I have the same thoughts and feelings that you have. There are those who help, even thought they may be a world apart. While America experienced a step increase in development, Transylvania experienced the communist regime and then political struggles for power in Central and Eastern Europe. In addition to this, there are many who have become very impoverished as a result of the epidemic. Today, when energy prices have risen to the stars, we want to help our believers who really need it. In a community that hopes and lives for tomorrow, we thank you for your offering. With the richness of the soul, God gives you back 1,000 times over to everyone. Thank you.
As an act of friendship, please give all that you can to help support our friendship with our partner church. You can find information on our website for how to give, or simply send a check to the church. All of your gifts are both needed and appreciated. Thank you for all that you do, all that you give, and all that you are.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved
And now I have 3 invitations to share with you for this week. Hopefully, you've heard about the upcoming Let's Talk About Race workshops coordinated by the Mosaic team. The first workshop is this coming Saturday, February 5th, from 2 to 5 p.m., and this session will be on Zoom. There will be 2 more workshops to follow, one in March and one in April, and we'll hopefully be able to have those in person, but Saturday, February 5th will be on Zoom. And we're grateful for this chance to practice our values through work on anti-racism, and we're excited that over 50 people have already signed up. You can still sign up. Everyone received an email this past Tuesday with a link to the registration. If you missed that, just call the church office. I personally am excited to be able to attend, and I look forward to all the ways we'll continue to work to foster inclusion and belonging here at First U. The music committee is interested in your opinions and ideas about our music program as we move forward. With so many members and friends of First U, we know there are lots of preferences out there, and we want to know what they are. To link to the survey that was sent in last week's email and is now up on your screen, please take a few minutes to share your ideas with the music committee. The Rhode Island State Council of Churches is putting out a call to member churches for volunteers who can step in to help in hospitals which are understaffed because of the pandemic. There are jobs that non-medical people can do, and volunteers would free up much needed staff time. If you or someone you know can help, please send an email to recc@councilofchurchesri.org or call the church office. Thank you so much and have a great week.
Énekeim, énekeljük a 262 számú egyházi énekünket. A 262 számú egyházi énekünk így kezdődik. Véghetetlen irgalmadban bizakodva hívtalak.
Véghetetlen irgalmadban bizakodva hívtalak. Ótalanul újdonsoknak csillagfénye vártalak. Vásult szíved, aki jártam, érdemére eltaláltam. Ó, ki minden jóra fordít, hálás szívvel áldalak.
Here in Szentegyháza, the snow falls heavenly. Right now, each snowflake is a thought we send to each other. The snowflake takes time to fall down from the sky. This time is ours. It is a time of thought that we are together, we love each other, and that time is a gift from God. The more snowflakes fall, the more thoughts, feelings, and love make us one. Let us not forget that we must build the future together. Itt Szentegyházán jelen pillanatban sűrűn hull a hó. Minden hópehely egy-egy gondolat, amelyet egymásnak küldünk. A hópehely, amely aláhull az égből, időt vesz fel, míg az égből a földig ér. Ez az idő a miénk. Egy-egy gondolat ideje. Ajándék Istentől. És minél több gondolat, annál több érzés, hogy együtt vagyunk, minél több hópehely hull az égből, annál több sok-sok érzés, szeretet, amely egyé tesz bennünket. Ne felejtsük el, a jövőt együtt kell építenünk. Ezzel a gondolattal menjünk családi hajlékainkban. Amen.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing. We carry the flame of peace, love, and hope until we meet again. A béka, a szeretet és a remény lányát hordozzuk, amíg újra találkozunk.